What's up, friends? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't already know me, hi, my name is Stephanie Rennie and I am a 6-year United States Army veteran. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through week 1 of basic training. Now, disclaimer here, this was my week 1 of basic training, and it might not be the same for you. It's different pretty much everywhere, different with every unit, even different based off of where you're staying, like what building and all that good stuff. So it might not be the same for you, but this was my experience. Plus, there's some new things in basic training like yellow phase and no more shark attacks, but honestly, that no more shark attack thing is still in the process of being worked out, so unless you're in one of those testing units, you're still, for the next couple of months, probably be going through a shark attack pretty similar to mine from the things that I've been hearing from other people. So, let's get started. Alright, so we last left off with you sitting on your bags waiting to go to your basic training location. And a drill sergeant is going to pick you up in a white bus, and you're going to front load your bag, which means you're going to carry it in the front like this and get on the bus with that duffel bag. And you're going to be sitting on the bus, and your drill sergeant's going to be at the front on those little stairs, you know, where you get onto the bus, and it's going to be completely silent. These are your last moments of peace, or so you think, for the next, 20-30 minutes. So you're going to be busing to your location, wherever you're going to be staying. For me, I was staying in the trailer park. We were in the tin barracks where you had to walk up these giant flight of stairs from the outside and go in, and it was just the older barracks while these other barracks were getting built. Now, if you happen to pull up to a building with an awning and an overhang with the cement blocks, I'll put a picture in here so you know what I'm talking about, then congratulations, you're in one of the newer buildings. I myself we were roughing it in the ghetto. So we pull up to our basic training location, and our drill sergeant lightly leaned over his head and said, "Get your shit and get off the bus, form up." And that was it. And we're waiting. Like, we know the shark attack's coming. We've heard the horror stories from the people that got kicked back from basic training already, back in reception. And so we're just waiting for that moment where they're just dogs on you. So we get off the bus, we form up, and the drill sergeant comes and says, "I have a list of people. I have your platoons. When I give you your platoon, you're going to form up underneath the awning where your platoon is obviously going to be. There's 4 awnings. You line up under those." Still no yelling, and it's just this drill sergeant. Nobody else. Everybody, it's eerily quiet. It's like the wild, wild west, because we're already in this trailer park kind of village, and it's dusty outside. I don't know. It just felt really eerie, like empty, and it shouldn't have been that way. We're just waiting. And suddenly all the drill sergeants start coming out of the drill sergeant's building. And the first sergeant, the sergeant that's in charge of all of the platoon sergeants and the drill sergeants at that time, he gets up to speak. He starts spouting off a speech about how now you're going to be trained to become soldiers and you need to work hard and it's going to be difficult and blah, 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 persevere, yada, yada. And still no yelling. The drill sergeants came out of that building, stood in front of our platoons, didn't look at us, didn't say anything, and we're just like, "Oh, there's no shark attack. This is it? Oh, we're fine. This is gonna be, psh." You hear all these horror stories online about this giant shark attack where they're yelling in your face and all that stuff. Oh, we're fine. The first sergeant says, "All right, drill sergeants, take control of your platoon." They do an about face, and that's when shit got real. They're screaming everywhere. We went from no sound, everybody, you could hear a pin drop, to "Get your bags over your head, start running in place, high knees, get your knees up, I want to see those bags up, you can lift your bag higher than that." And you're getting the drill sergeants, there's multiple drill sergeants per platoon, and you're getting them from everywhere. It's just a madhouse, and we're underneath these metal awnings, so the screaming is echoing back and forth, and you're freaking out trying to hold your bag of crap over your head. And then the drill sergeant says, "You've got 2 minutes to run down the hill, form back up, and put your bag above your head, or you're gonna do it again." And so we run down this big hill, or at least, come to think of it, I don't really know if it was that big, or if it just seemed that big because we had to work out on it every day. But regardless, it seemed like a really steep hill, and you run down, and of course, you know, this is your first time, you don't know what you're doing, we didn't know what we're doing, and we obviously did not make that 2-minute cutoff. We get our bags over our heads, and you know, the same screaming thing, the screaming never stopped. It was always like they're nitpicking you for something, your uniform's not right, you look a hot mess, your bun's messed up, your haircut looks like crap, why are you looking at me, that whole thing. So we ran back up the hill and we reformed up, holding our bags above our head, running in place, doing like jump jacks in place with our bags above our head. And they're weaving in and out. And boy, if you didn't leave enough space for that drill sergeant to get by and yell in your face, then you were gonna get in even more trouble. And if you dropped your bag, oh God. Like, it was a whole thing. I accidentally made eye contact with my drill sergeant while I'm doing it. What are you looking at, Ginger? Blah, blah, blah. It was like, they will nitpick you for whatever you've got going on. They made fun of my name, my hair, the way I looked, all that, whatever. And don't take it personally. It's not that big of a deal. But we did that about, oh gosh, 6 times, and it felt like an eternity. And then they say, drop your bags, and then we're gonna teach you the push-up. And you know, you just exercise, you're doing push-ups, mountain climbers, the 8-count push-up, all the different kinds of variations of the exercises that you'll be doing for the next 9 weeks. Pouring sweat, we are dead tired. We're in our uniforms at this point. So the uniform is a t-shirt and then a jacket and then pants and boots and high socks. And we were in South Carolina. This was March leading into April. So, you know, we're starting to get pretty warm outside. Oof. It was a good time. And then you finally get done with all the exercise and they say, dump your bags. And so we're dumping our bags full of everything, and this is where they're shaking you down again. So if they find something that you didn't give up at reception, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave it in the card up here, but they'll find it and they'll go through all your stuff, and I'm telling you, they go through everything, and it's a hot mess. There's no organization. And then you're done with that, and you put all your crap back in your bag and everything. You have to do it quickly, or you're gonna get yelled at and do more push-ups, and you've already done so many at that point. Your arms are tired. You can't do another push-up. And then they say, you've got 5 minutes to call your family and tell them you're okay. And after all that, you're so overwhelmed and freaking out, and like, it's emotional, and you're shell-shocked almost, or I was. So I'm shell-shocked, and I get on the phone, and my mom answers, and I was like, I made it to basic training. And she's like, okay. On the other hand, she's like, okay, I gotta go, bye. And I just hang up on her because I'm like about to start crying. I don't know. It was really emotional, to be honest with you. But I was fine. I think I was just obviously, you know, shocked. So after all that, it's probably been about 2 hours of working out and being yelled at and all this. And they finally say, all right, is there anybody at this time that is not ready to be a soldier, or anybody at this time that wants to quit? We had 14 people in those first 2 hours line up and quit. Don't quit. So they leave, and then they say, okay, everybody else, I'm going to send you up to your bays. And they split us off, and I think they split the girls in half, so there was 40 in one bay, 40 in the other, and your bunk buddy is usually like your battle buddy. That'll be the person that you do most things with. You know, you can't go anywhere alone, and you just throw your duffel bag in the locker because now it's class time, and you have to go to class after having just worked out for about 2 hours and try and pay attention to what they're saying. So you're sitting in this classroom, and as you're sitting there, the classes are going, the first class goes, maybe you're learning first aid, maybe you're learning the different ranks, and you're taking notes, and it's great. And you hear, wake up, from the other side of the room. And everybody jumps and looks, and somebody fell asleep. Somebody fell asleep on day 1, and somebody will fall asleep every class that you have. So it's gonna be better for you if you are feeling tired. Start writing notes, start taking every word that they're saying down on paper. So that's one way to keep yourself awake, because Lord knows you don't want to be standing up anymore. You stand up all day, you work out all day, you just want to sit down, okay? So that's one way, but honestly, the best way to stay awake is to get up. Just stand up. Stand up, go to the back, and watch. way better for you than having to do exercises while they're teaching and trying to consume that after having just worked out and all this and that. And they're gonna make you wall sit. So they'll make you lean against the wall, squat down, and hold something out in front of you. They had to like hold pencils out, and when you're holding a pencil out in front of you while wall squatting for like 5 minutes, it starts feeling heavy. And then you're gonna get your rifle, and that thing is gonna have to be held out in front of you, and that feels even worse, and you can't stop until the drill sergeant says you can. So then it is chow time. Yay, you can finally eat. So they're gonna march you, they march you everywhere, you're gonna be marched everywhere, and they're gonna march you to chow, and you're gonna sing cadence, and it's gonna be, like a dandy time until you get to chow. But you line up, and they only allow maybe 10 people in at a time. So they let those 10 people in, and then they stop at you, and you're standing there. And everything that you just learned in class, the drill sergeants are gonna be quizzing you about. So let's say you learned the Soldier's Creed. They're going to ask you the first line of the Soldier's Creed. And if you don't know it, you're going to the back of the line. The back of the line. You're starving. Anyway, you finally get in. You can't look at anybody. Your eyes are straight forward, and you've got your tray, and you're just, ooh, I just want that peanut butter and banana sandwich. So it's just like a cafeteria. There's spaghetti. There's other things other than, that peanut butter and banana sandwich. Then you get your tray over, and you can't sit down yet. You're looking at your food, and you're like, ooh, I want to eat this. But you can't sit down until that whole row is filled up. That the last person has to say, last person seated, drill sergeant. And then they let you sit, and then you can eat, and you only have 2 minutes to eat. Maybe 3, maybe 5 on a Sunday. And so you're scarfing it down. You can't talk to anybody. You can't even look up from your tray without being told to get out of the chow hall. But you finally finish, and you're cycling through, and then you're forming up outside. Lord forbid they make you work out after you just scarfed down a whole tray of food. But it will happen at some point. Somebody will screw up right before chow, and then that'll screw everything up for everybody. And then you're gonna be working out after you just slammed a whole tray of food. Oof, oof, it's not good. So you go back, do more class time, and now it's nighttime, and they release you for the night. By the way, at some point in here, you end up giving up your cell phone and your civilian clothes and all that, and they lock it into a back room. So now it's nighttime, and you're ready to shower and go to bed because you've been sweating all day. It's musky, and you have to go back to the showers, and it is a big open shower. At least ours were. Now, mind you, like I said, we were in the trailer park, so if the new barracks have individual showers, great. But from what I've heard, every barracks is like this. So our showers were big open showers. There were about 4 shower spouts, and so you had to wait your turn and whatever. I was known in basic training for being the first one in the shower. I don't know how other people didn't prioritize that, but as soon as they released us, I ran upstairs. I, dropped my clothes, grabbed my PTs, grabbed my soap and all that stuff, and I ran into the shower. Like, I wasted no time. And sometimes I would be in there for a whole minute before, which sounds like not enough time, but a minute is a minute, when you're finally in there showering by yourself with nobody else. A minute is a long time, it's an eternity. And yes, in front of and with other people. Nobody really looks at each other, nobody cares. Just get your shit done and get out. Do not waste time in the shower. Everybody's trying to shower. That's the only time, basically, to shower. And nobody wants to be up until 10 p.m. trying to shower because you wanted to take 30 minutes. So be respectful. Get in, get out, and you have to make your bed. It needs to be tight, 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 tight. They will show you how to do hospital corners, I think, and everything in. You don't sleep in your bed, you sleep on it. So you're gonna have this like really rough blanket that you're gonna be sleeping on, and a fitted sheet and a top sheet, all that you're gonna be sleeping on that's wrapped like a burrito, and then you will have an extra blanket. That's the one you sleep with. So that's the one that you cuddle up with, and in the morning you fold that and tuck it onto your bed in the morning. You have to fold all of your shirts in a certain way, like this burrito kind of fashion, and all your shorts in a certain way. Everything needs to be looking dress right dress, because if the drill sergeants came in and they wanted to look at your stuff, they could open your drawer and toss it out, and you'd have to, all your stuff's gonna be everywhere, and ugh. So now you're finally able to crawl into your bed and go to sleep, and that is the end of day 1. Now the rest of the week is going to be pretty similar to that, except you're going to be waking up at 5:30 or 6 a.m., going to line up, and do not be late. I know there were some people in my basic training that were late every single day. I do not understand. Do not be that person. You will get in trouble a lot, and so eventually it will just come down to not everybody being in trouble for somebody being late, but just you being in trouble for being late, and you'll have to do things on Sundays that you wish you didn't have to do. So you'll take your first diagnostic PT test on that next day, that next morning. It's not so important that you pass that, though you want to pass every single PT test that you can. You do have multiple chances throughout basic training to pass before the end of it, so don't stress a whole lot, but your goal is to pass. You have no freedoms. Your drill sergeants are not friendly to you. You are going to get yelled at a lot. They may or may not pick on you a lot. It's just going to be straight business. You get in, get out, and it's going to be exhausting. You are going to be so tired, probably the most tired that you've ever been in your life during this first week. So be prepared. Like I said, this is a unique experience to me, but I do know that some things are applicable to everyone, like being tired. So then you get to Sunday, and yes, if you're religious, you do get to go to service. I know they try to accommodate all religions, so just let them know what your preferences or your religion is, and they will try to accommodate you. And if you don't go, then you will be in your barracks doing details, cleaning, waxing, doing whatever it is that you need to do for that day. You're gonna have to combine all your sheets together because your sheets get washed weekly, so everybody will strip their beds and get those washed and all that good stuff. And then the rest of the day, you get to kind of hang out. So while everybody's at church, hopefully you get to hang out. So sometimes the drill sergeants will come in and they'll make you work out or do whatever. They'll make sure that you're actually cleaning and doing what you're supposed to be doing, but there's, you know, a chance that you might have an hour or two here and there that you can just take a nap or sit against the wall and take a couple minutes to yourself to just re-hone back in to why the heck you came there. I will never forget my first Sunday. I took probably a 3-hour nap. It was the most glorious nap I think I've ever had in my entire life. Worth it. But you'll go to the chow hall the same, and you'll come back, and it's a pretty quick and easy day. So I know I spent a lot of time on that first day. I felt like it was important to really emphasize that first day because the rest of the week pretty much goes the same every day, you know, classroom study and all that stuff. And I'm not going to do a video about each week of basic training. It's going to go kind of fast from here on out. I might do it in chunks of 3. So I'll do red phase, white phase, and blue phase. Your first week is going to be a lot of figuring things out. You're going to be wondering what your address is for about 2 or 3 days until they give it to you, and then you can finally start writing letters to your family. Oh, that's going to be so glorious. I wrote to my family every single day. I wrote to my mom every day. It's really important if you have somebody back home that can write to you every day. Getting mail call is wonderful, but you won't get your first mail in that first week, just so you know. So just take it day by day. It's all fine. This first week is probably going to be the hardest, most stressful. You're trying to figure it out. And then after that, it's just going through the motions. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you made it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed my experience of the first week of basic training and the things that I emphasized because they're the most prominent in my mind for me. But if I missed anything or if there was something important about the first week of basic training that you remember, leave it in the comment section down below. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ding the notification bell so that you always know when my next video is coming. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!